Hey, Eric.
Hey, Chris.
Elemental Gearbolt.
That's a working designs game, isn't it?
Or so I'm told. Now, we played Elemental Gearbolt in my basement.
Yes, Alpha Systems Elemental Gearbolt.
On our patreon.com/retroam monthly Tinkering with Junk stream.
And Tinker with Junk we did because we actually played it with light guns on a CRT and somehow still had the technology to stream it out.
Yeah, that was impressive.
That was some fucking shit, dude.
On your part, getting all that set up.
There was a lot of wires to make that happen.
Yeah, the only thing that was missing from that stream is like a high camera shot, so you could actually see us holding the guns while also seeing the gameplay. You can still kind of see us holding the guns individually, but like it's not as good as it could have been in terms of like the overall production of that. But we had a good time playing Elemental Gearbolt.
We beat it.
And watching and trying to decipher its weird-ass story.
Yes. So that was Chris's first time playing it. It was my second time playing it. Elemental Gearbolt is a weird-ass game, and if you want to see us enjoy that as an accompanying piece of our Lunar season, you can find that at patreon.com/retroam.
Yes, just go to patreon.com/retroam/collections and look for the Tinkering with Junk streams. They are archived out there. We've done other stuff. We looked at Ogre Battle. We looked at other Working Designs games.
On TurboGrafx.
We looked at old memory cards. So we have a lot of fun with those. And each time I'm trying to improve the production of the stream because we're not, streamers necessarily. So we don't know what the fuck we're doing, but it's getting better every time. So come check it out. Would you like to hear some hot sounds that I have recorded?
You mean hot sounds I recorded?
Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast covering classic Japanese role-playing games, chapter by chapter, beat by beat. Welcome back to the 7th season of this podcast, covering, as you know, Lunar, the Silver Star story. My name is Chris, and I'm joined by Eric. Hi.
Hey, man.
Hi. Nice to see you again. We are also joined by the RealNet, a collective of daring dragonkind who are watching us record this podcast live on a secret video feed at patreon.com/retroam.
Every time Chris does this, my eyebrows fly off of my head like a cartoon.
Yeah, daring dragonkind. Do you say dragonkind or dragonkind?
No.
I say dragonkind.
We're also joined by the Fake Net, our post-production automatic idiom, who could not figure out how to fit Outrun's arcade music or all 60 of its frames onto the disc for Sega Ages Volume 1 on Saturn.
Initializing Fake Net.
I could have given you 120 frames and you still wouldn't make it past the third stage. You Ferrari crashing piece of shit.
Love frames.
Love all of them.
Love frames. You know what reminded me of superscalar technology recently?
Editing a video on Space Harrier?
No. The new video game from Digital Eclipse, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind.
Oh yeah, that's got some superscalar technology mimicry in it.
Yeah, there's episodes where you gotta run in a straight line and shoot things in your Zord. And
your Gundam?
Basically.
Your Voltron?
Yeah, basically. Reminds me of a Space Harrier level where you're just moving around, flying around, shooting things. And the way, it's not literally super scaling, but it does appear to mimic that style, and I thought it was cool.
Does it riff on that like that one other new game riffed on Star Fox?
X Zodiac?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, not as much. That's a pretty good game.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to be finished like all early access games. Will it ever get finished? I don't fucking know, but we can certainly hope so.
Hades 2.
Meribia.
Meribia.
I walked all the way back to Meribia. Chris was like, you can fucking do that? And I'm like, you can absolutely do that. We have to know what's changed in Meribia. Do you know what music plays?
Meribia.
That's right.
All right.
Vendor by Ramus's shop. He knows that we've been to Vane. He asked how it was and if there were any toy stores. And it tells him there were none. And he says, no toy stores? That's no fun. When are you going to find me a toy store? Hurry up, I'll wait here. He will also tell us his mom will reimburse us. The drunk old man by the bar is still passed out for the 5th day in a row. Ramus's shop. You know what music plays in there, Chris?
Have a big dream.
The blue hair guy by the entrance says, I'll give the fat kid credit. He's doing a great job running this place. Maybe I'll end up buying an engagement ring here after all. The bunny girl says Ramus pays her well, but she still hasn't gotten around to telling her parents about the bunny outfit. They're a little we already did that too, didn't we? Close-minded?
No.
They're a little close-minded?
I think that she talked about her wearing the bunny outfit or getting fired from jerking off sailors or whatever.
Right.
Or not getting fired, but leaving the...
Right,
the
choosing not to work there.
Leaving the sex work industry because it wasn't for her,
Puff, puff.
Puff, puff.
Puff, puff.
Puff, puff.
Puff, puff.
Ramus He is now fully disengaged from the narrative. He says, I heard you found out more about dragons, Alex. That's great.
They could probably just keep that dialogue and it would
that'd be it.
Until all the dragons are found. And then Alex can say, yes, I have met them all.
I know. I wanted a drink, so I went to the bar. There's an NPC at the Brett table. Brett's gone. The NPC says, I felt so much better after I socked that cheater in the gut. He's just lucky I decided not to hit him in the honker.
The honker?
The honker.
Chris, have you ever been hit in your honker?
Yeah, I've been hit my... Hold on. Is a honker a dick?
No, it's a nose.
Yeah, you're right. I don't honk my dick.
Well, you can honk your dick. I believe a honk is also a Dragon Quest thing.
Is it really?
I think so.
A honk?
Fake net, what's a honk?
No, a honk's like a dragon thing. And
is that
dragon,
what it is?
It's called
It's a honk? All right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I think. Never mind, fake net.
All this fucking shit is broken now.
I've been punched in the honker, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been kicked in the balls since like 6th grade, but if you're talking about a honker, no, I've never been punched in the face. Other NPC at the Brett table, Bluebeard, says, Hick, man, that cheating dude ran out of here like his pants were on fire and his butt was catching. I don't think he'll be coming back to this place anytime soon. Top left, Bunny Lady. Oh my, a member of the Magic Guild. Have a seat and let me describe the many pleasures I could bring you.
Oh, the honk.
We're getting honked everywhere. This wasn't in American games, right? Like just women propositioning you to give you a hand job?
No, that's why Dragon Quest was barred from the U.S. I'm making that up, but
maybe. But like, is that just absent of how, at least in the 90s, like any kind of references to sex were like puritanically cleansed from American media for children? Yeah,
there was that Final Fantasy IV stripping lady or something that was cut from the original U.S. release.
There was the goatsy that was cut from Zelda. No, I'm sorry, that's still in there, isn't it?
Yeah, they kept the goatsy.
Yeah.
They kept the
goatsy must be retained.
I'll retain all prolapses.
Meribia, Black Rose Street. NPC with blue hair is the only person with different dialogue. She congratulates us for passing the Cave of Trial. I'm also a member of the Magic Guild, but only because my father called in favors from a friend of his. The only spell I can cast is the one for stopping sneezes. I hope to use it to cure allergies someday soon. Chris, there's your person. Royce, still not in the shop. Meribia, the dock. The sailor by the ship is the only one here with new dialogue.
Oh, yeah?
Says, you've been to Vane? That's nice, but I've always been more interested in places I could reach by sea. Because you can't sail to Vane?
No airships.
He's a sailor. No airships in here. Okay, that's it. Let's go southwest on the world map to a path through a mountain.
Yes, it's called the Nanza Pass.
By the way, none of the mountain pass, Nanza barrier shit exists on Sega CD, or at least not at this time.
You know what my first note is here? Please, God, don't tell me I was supposed to go talk to people in Meribia. I think I must have had that realization when I was taking notes on my video.
Well, with me, you, and the fake net, thank God one of us did it.
Thank God.
God bless the fake net.
My entire shit is breaking.
We get there, it's brown, but there's some stone and some slight vegetation growing again, which really highlights something I think this game does well that I think we've maybe talked about before, but this game doesn't get enough credit for it, is that it has a really good, subtle environmental design language, I think. Like, I can look at the biome of the Nanza barrier and distinguish it from the next nondescript biome that we're going to go to.
It's also, this entire Nanza barrier, I think it's the east side, is just one continuous screen. There's not multiple screens.
Yes. There is a screen, a town, and another screen on the other side of that town. Is how this thing's laid out.
Also to the south, there's another one.
Yes, we haven't gone there yet, though.
That mysterious cave has been playing this entire time.
Yes.
I opened a fucking chest and it was a smoke bomb that started everyone in the battle off with a confused status.
Fuck.
I reset my game and lost 20 minutes because of how much I did not want to deal with whatever that shit is.
Yeah, dealing with that is not great. Like, I lost... Works out because I have infinite money, but, like, dealing with that one time made Luna start using starlights. And I'm like, no, stop it.
Cannot happen. Stop doing this. How do you feel about the trope of chests that fuck you over?
I think it's like a legacy or a artifact of like D&D stuff, like disarming traps and stuff like that they've tried to put into video games.
They always try. I mean, Bloodborne, Like a Dragon 8, like there are chests that fuck you up.
The Dragon Quest games have those mimic chests and stuff like that. So I think it sucks. I think Final Fantasy VI had some enemies in a monster in a box, I think is what it was called. I think it sucks.
I just don't like when someone tries to give me candy and they give me a carrot instead.
Yes, but also I think that like it would be a lot better if there was a way to prevent it.
If there was a marker that only like gamers who paid attention very closely would see.
Yeah, either that or like Nash would roll a dice or something. I'm like, oh, you have Nash in your party and he can disarm traps. He rolled a 6. He gets to
Oh no, I don't need the abstraction of dice unless it happens behind the scenes.
That's what I meant.
This is not Citizen Sleeper, please.
Or Baldur's Gate 3.
The exact same game. Did you find any enemies here?
I did. I fought 4 distinct enemies. The first one I fought was an Antarian.
Mm-hmm. Rust-colored ant with yellow eyes.
Yes, he's from the Orion constellation.
The Antarians? They look shitty on PSP.
The next bad guy I fought is the Death Mutt.
Blue rat wolf with a dinosaur mouth snout.
Yeah, he's got like some Super Saiyan locks of hair going on there. Very spiky anime hair.
They have a paralyze attack, which frustrates me.
Yeah, all status effects frustrate me. Now and forever.
Give me another one.
Giga Wasp.
Yellow and off-white fly with Waldo shirt wings.
Waldo shirt wings.
Waldo shirt wings.
Okay, I'll take it. And finally, the Mud Cyclops.
Piles of gooey shit. One eye with a blue pupil, teeth mouth, and center of the muck and grime.
They have really good squishy sound effects. Like the squishy noises that they make when they move. It's pretty good.
It is a mud puddle teleport and breathes fire on Nash.
Yes. So we have to march to this area. I found a lot of use here in Luna's Temptation song.
Ooh, what's that?
Which is a song that makes ants fall asleep.
Oh, okay.
In this use case. There are often like 6 monsters in a single encounter here, which can be troubling in the working designs version of this game.
Because Nash's spell just roasts them all in one hit for me.
It doesn't happen here. You have to... Well, I mean, it is similar in the PS1 version, the original version, where you have to keep them monsters checking this out. Just
check this out.
Keep having them check this out so that you can proceed through this area.
Check this out.
That's all I really have until we get to Nanza.
Once we get through this mountain pass, we reach a fort built by little boys.
Music, traffic plays. And this town is made out of wooden poles tied together. There's a gate at the front with one bald guy with an eye patch out to guard it. I like Chris's description much better, though. A fort made by little boys.
Yeah.
Although I think it has more craftsmanship than the piles of shit my friends and I would build in the woods.
Yeah. Again, like a really, really subtle detail is like you've got these... It's not bamboo, but it's kind of like colored like bamboo. These logs that are building the rafters of the fort or whatever.
The upper sections.
Yeah. But the sprites actually have like a rope that ties these things together that is like visible in the game. And
this is the most interesting a town has been so far, I think.
I think so.
Like, I've seen stuff like Vane before. I've seen stuff like Meribia before. I don't see... I mean, wasn't there a village like this in Final Fantasy X? Kilika? Does that sound right? It got destroyed, and then it was different in Final Fantasy X too?
Probably. We can call these kinds of village like Ewok village adjacent.
Yes,
like
Ewok adjacent,
Somebody's seen somebody remembers the Ewok village is often like the...
What planet was that?
Endor.
Was it a moon of Endor or Endor?
Endor is a moon.
Okay.
I don't know what it is a moon of, but Endor is a moon.
I've forgotten all my knowledge from Star Tours. Nash tells this gentleman we come on behalf of the Magic Guild. We've been ordered to travel to land by Galleon himself. Let us pass. To my surprise, this dude says, oh man, we don't want to get mixed up with the guild. Go on through, quickly.
The Nazis are here, let them through.
But also, this place has been described as a town full of thieves. And this isn't the thieves' den, this is just Nanza. So I think they're kind of like, oh shit, the cops are here. Yeah, no, come on in, we're good.
Yeah.
And he's like jingling a silent bell for the people to get their shit together.
Although there is like a level of lawlessness here in this region, like there's no law. So how can you be lawless with no law?
You take your lawlessness to others and enforce your laws upon them while they're traveling. Like, we'll find out later, like, they make a bunch of their money by providing people safe escort through the mountain passes.
Yeah.
Against the monsters that we're vanquishing with Nash's magic.
Agreed.
We hear the sound of a door opening. Nash chimes in to say, land is west of here, and this place is teeming with the criminal element. So I suggest we pass through here as quickly as possible. In the background, we then hear, come on, Jess, what did I do? Give me another chance. Come on, Hick.
Hick?
Hick.
Null asks if we heard that. He wants to make sure he isn't going crazy. The guard confirms you are not crazy. Our boss is just drunk out of his mind and screaming himself hoarse again. I love the man, but he can be a huge pain in the butt sometimes. Nash replies, I love this. How lovely. Can we go now? Lan isn't getting any closer. Like, when someone's just telling you about their buddy's problems with alcoholism, he just says, how lovely.
I need to get the fuck out of here. Are we going to count him as a drunk guy yet or wait till we meet him?
We have to wait till we meet him.
Okay.
Because we don't know who this person is yet. It could be anybody. If you talk to the guard again, he says, the last thing we need around here is the Magic Guild cracking down on us. So why don't you make your merry way out of here just as soon as you can?
The Magic Guild does have some sort of jurisdiction here. Maybe the Magic Guild just imposes jurisdiction
whenever they're... I think the thing you said about, oh, fuck, the Nazis are here is actually correct. It's like, fucking shit, let's just do what they want, they'll leave. If we do what they want, they'll leave.
Okay.
Inside Nanza, you can see some white-capped mountains off in the distance, not to mention a huge blue mountain immediately to the right of the town. We're high up. The actual town has a dirt-ass floor on the lower level. Barrels and boxes are lined up everywhere. A brown silo also takes center stage as the main feature. A wooden path of strung-together poles composes the upper level. A chimney billowing smoke rings out of the ground. suggests some carved-out cave dwellings or some kind of underground housing below us. On PSP, Nanza looks like complete shit. Brown dirt floors, which I kind of get, but the elevated platforms are no longer logs tied together, but rather tightly cut and machined wood with perfectly even fencing.
See, that's what I mean by like the tiles, the differences in the tile set between the two games. I haven't even really seen the PSP version, but the way you describe them just makes it feel like the tile sets that they use are a lot more out of the box.
Yes, wildly out of time, out of the box, and also inconsistent. It has no consistent identity. The central silo is also both a stairway to the wooden platform above, as well as access to the basement level below. And there's many silos, but they all have different levels of access to where you need to go, which is very kind of frustrating when you're trying to get around.
Yeah.
NPCs on the main level.
Yeah, first guy I spoke with was a blue-haired fella near the Althena statue.
Sleeveless shirt.
Yeah, guns out. Nanza is an intersection that connects Elan to the west, Vane to the east, and the Marius zone to the south. I hear there's a bandit town in the Marius zone, so watch yourself.
Marius zone sounds very imposing to me.
Really?
Yeah, because whenever I hear the word zone, I think of Sonic, because Sonic goes through zones.
They call all their areas in this game, in this world, zones, which I think is kind of strange. It makes it feel like you're going through a portal or something, but you're not really.
On PSP, zone across the board is changed to region.
I like that better.
Oh, I like zone better.
Really?
It makes it feel like an alien. Like, yeah, you're going to fucking zones, dude. We're in the goddamn zone.
All right, well.
NBA in the zone.
Back in the podcast zone, Null says, I think we need to watch ourselves right now.
Yeah, I don't think we're carrying wallets. So
we have silver, though.
Yeah.
And Null, I think Null carries it all.
Like a rucksack. Yeah, you just shove it in
Null
Null's
have like
asshole.
a magic pouch?
I think so. Yeah, magic pouch. Wink, wink. That thing's hollow, dude. He's fucking full of starlights and bromides and...
Oh, okay. Next, I spoke with a brown-haired guy that's out here.
Yellow headband.
Yeah, he says, our leader's name is Kyle. He's the strongest man I've ever seen. I bet he could beat up all of you.
That's something a little kid would say, right?
Null says, you're an easily excitable person, aren't you? Calling somebody an easily excitable person, I think, is maybe the best insult that Null has levied so far.
It reminds me of when Bill Murray called Chevy Chase medium talent. It's like, it sounds kind of like a compliment, but actually you're deeply insulting someone.
Yeah. He goes on to say, the only man who could beat Kyle without using magic is Master Mel.
Probably true.
Yeah.
Eye patch bald guy down in the right corner.
Yeah, he's guarding the south gate. He says, hey, dude, what brings you to the barrier? On an adventure? Cool, man. If you... like this, cool, man.
Cool, man.
If you head south from here, you'll enter the Marius zone, but it's totally overrun with monsters. Word of the wise. Avoid.
And we actually cannot go through the door below him. I do like how all of the guardians of the various barriers are the same Baldman eye patch guy.
Yeah, they're all bobos.
Eye patch bald guy on the left side of the exit. Nash tells him we came on behalf of the Magic Guild. He tells him he has been sent here by Galleon himself, and he demands we pass. The Baldman replies, listen up, boy. I don't care if you were sent here by the goddess herself. I don't care if you were bringing milk and cookies to my own dear mother. Nobody gets through this gate without Kyle's permission. Alas, the man is drunk off his arse at the moment.
I think this triggers the Kyle moving around stuff.
Oh, yeah, because Kyle will go to different places throughout.
Yeah, but like in my case, he didn't move until after I talked to this guy. I didn't talk to this guy when I was actually trying to leave.
On PSP, he says butt instead of arse.
I typically like arse better, but sometimes the simplicity of butt, when deployed properly, can be very funny as well.
Isn't there an SNK game with a character named Butt?
Fake net?
Initializing FakeNet. Kushnude Butt, named Marco Rodriguez in Japan, is a Fatal Fury character first introduced in Garu, Mark of the Wolves.
He continues. Nash asks if we can talk to Kyle, and he says, the last I saw of him, Beastie, he was thoroughly enjoying a glass of our finest brew in the North Tower. I love this old bald man referring to Null as Beastie.
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 He goes with the Irish accent, too. Or British, I guess, for ours. Have you no short-term memory, boy? I don't open this gate without Kyle's say-so. Look for him in the North Tower. I heard some explosive belching coming from that direction.
I went downstairs into the barracks. There's logs in here.
Storeroom, jail, bar, residential space, a thieves' hideout, a hideout for thieves.
Yeah, a den of thieves, you might say.
The golden staircase ascends to one of 3 silo tunnels.
I talked to this guy wandering in the middle, brown hair, headband, yellow clothes. Jessica, why must you taunt me so? Can't you see how much I love you? Null says, whoa, someone call the guys in the white coats. This one's a keeper.
Guys in the white coats has to be like the psych ward attendants.
Yeah, I don't really know if we use that phrase anymore.
Guys in the white coats?
I mean, I'm familiar with it, but
yeah.
I don't hear people say it anymore.
Deploy that anymore. On PSP, you can imagine this place looks like complete shit, except for one detail. In the bunk area, the mattress is kind of off-center, like it's just thrown on there. And another, the mattress is either broken in half or it's made of a large cracking stone, which is very funny.
Cracking stone, wow.
Who else did you talk to down here?
A lady in the hallway.
Cervantes coat?
Cervantes.
Hello, children. I would show you the merchandise I'm selling, but you're too young to know about that sort of thing. Tee-hee. Nala says, I don't think I need to see it to know what it is, Alex. Luna, of course, has something to say here and says, Alex, your face is red. What's going through that naughty mind of yours?
Come sample my wares when you grow up, kids. Tee-hee-hee.
Yes.
What's in the box?
A honk.
A honker.
Yeah.
An insertion device. This lady has multiple variations of this dialogue, and when you bring Kyle to meet her later, it's actually more fucked up on Sega CD than it is in PS1.
Wow. Incredible. Looking forward to it, I think.
Blue-haired chain necklace by the jail.
Mm-hmm.
I am never seeing you children in my prison before. Are you wanting to see the inside of a cell? And this is another guy who talks fucked up on purpose.
Yeah, it's like a accent thing, maybe.
Sure.
Or, because there was another guy like this in Meribia, right?
Yeah. There's multiple of these guys who like use gerunds wrong. It's the best way I can describe it. Nash declares that we're on a mission assigned to us by Galleon himself. He says, throw us in jail in your answer to the Magic Guild. This person replies, I am formally offering you to tour our prison. You are please going.
You are please going.
You are please going to help me fix this electrical interference. My shit is about to explode.
Hello, I'll finish the episode.
Did you speak with the prison door?
I didn't talk to the door. No, I don't speak to objects.
Yeah, Nala says, that's strange. Why is there a prison out here?
That is weird, right?
Yeah.
Blue-haired guy in the bedroom, yellow ninja guy in the bedroom. Pick
Blue hair.
one.
Yeah, blue hair guy. He says, some guy in land is calling himself the Dragon Master and stealing food from the villagers. What is he, stupid? This is Kyle's territory, and the only people who steal here is us.
Okay, so the Nanza thieves are enforcing mob rule on the local hovels.
Yeah, it's like a mafia kind of thing.
Yeah, protection plan. Better pay up if you want a protection.
Luna says, no one has the right to steal from others.
Thank you, Luna.
Thanks. He goes on, he says, why doesn't Mel stop harassing us and go after real criminals, like that guy in land? We don't hurt innocent people, we protect them for a modest fee.
I got a feeling that the way that justice is delivered around here, Mel is kind of coasting off reputation at this point.
Yeah, and Mel doesn't necessarily have any vested interest in maintaining law and order.
But he knows of Kyle. For some reason, there are wanted signs with Kyle's face all over it in Meribia, but in some versions of this game, Mel and Kyle are cool. So you have to, I would assume the origin point of the Mel, like the first draft of Mel and Kyle is like, Kyle is one of many people that Mel has delegated law and order out to.
Also true, but there's also the whole element of like, as we'll find out, Kyle's an asshole and he's trying to, and he's dating, or at least was dating, Mel's daughter.
Yeah.
So there's an interpersonal thing there too.
Kyle is dating many daughters. Yellow ninja guy, also in the bedroom. I saw an old man crossing the barrier the other day and tried to charge him for passage. Not only did he turn me down, he gave me and my men a righteous beating in the process. We thought he was going to finish us off, but he just laughed and kicked our quivering butts again. He said his name was Lake. I've never seen anyone fight as skillfully as Lake. He might even be stronger than my boss, Kyle. I can't believe we tried to charge him money. I'm so embarrassed. I love the idea of Lake just traveling to and fro, beating ass when necessary. Helping people who he can sense are pure of heart and beating up thieves.
The beat-ass guy of this game so far. I mean, I also would describe Alex as a beat-ass guy.
Kyle's also an ass beater later.
Yeah.
Physical attacks preferred.
But I think a beat-ass guy, like his primary mode of interaction with the world is the act of beating ass, whereas I think Kyle interacts with the world in other ways as well.
Yeah, he has more verbs, more points of interaction. Yellow ninja guy, right side by the silo.
Yeah, I hate this guy.
I do too. All clear, boss. You're not Kyle. Next time, how about a hail? Null walks up behind him and screams, hail, and he replies, you kids are trying to kill me, aren't you? You're sick.
Not even funny.
NPC walking around Kyle's room.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kyle's room, there's like a bed with heart sheets.
Like diamond kind of thing. Maybe they're hearts, I don't know.
This is the boss's room. Pretty swank, huh? Now, if only we could get rid of that awful smell.
Pretty swank.
What does Kyle's room smell like? Booze, BO, semen?
Dirty sheets.
Dirty sheets.
Dirty sheets.
So that's all three in those.
Yeah, basically.
All right, cool.
Sweat. A lot of sweat.
Something bad. Fluids. Kitchen? 2 tables, a table for chopping up produce, and 2 pots over 2 fires. On PSP, it looks more like an episode of the Great British Bake Off. There are multiple food prep tables, each with one person standing at a table wearing an apron. Identical plates, bottles, and foodstuffs in different configurations are on the top of each table in Silver Star harmony.
Good foodstuffs.
Left table, upper left side.
The lady
Uh-huh.
in the kimono says, "What isn't there to like about Kyle? He's so strong and so gorgeous. But he's a bad boy, and bad boys need to be disciplined."
I love when women beat the shit out of me.
Yes, I guess.
A lot of the women here, what few women there are very attracted to Kyle. Is
Yes.
this, like, what the fuck?
Well, we're out here in the wilderness, and the most attractive men are the ones who are the most beast-like, and Kyle's the most beast-like. Is that how it works?
Yeah, women in fiction are attracted to power and masculinity.
Yes.
Left table, bottom left, purple hair. Kyle is the most fabulous boss a man could ask for. He has charisma. He has a keen sense of fashion, and he has a wonderful tan. There's only one thing wrong with him. But nobody's perfect, right? I assume he's an alcoholic is the one thing that's wrong with him.
I'm going to make that my first guess, yes.
Left table, right side, helmet goggles guy.
Well, I love this guy. Helmet Goggles guy's the best.
I heard the most fascinating stories of our dinner last night. Our waiter was regaling us with tales of the great Dragon Master Dine. I was so fascinated that I allowed my chocolate souffle to get cold, and I never do that. I was surprised to learn that Dine lost his magical powers and died. At least that's what we think. There has to be something more to it than that. I'd bet my rack of lamb on it.
This guy's got some character.
He's all right.
He never lets his chocolate souffle get cold.
Right table, left side, yellow fit guy. I'm the second strongest man in Nanza. One of these days, I will beat Kyle at thumb wrestling. Chris, 1, 2, 3, 4. How long has it been since someone last declared a thumb war on you?
Probably a couple months.
Wow, months. I thought you were going to say like decades.
No,
Why'd you get involved in a thumb war?
I have kids.
Yeah, but aren't your fists like twice the size of those little fuckers' meaty paws? Don't you just dominate them?
No, they're actually very deft with their thumbs.
Are they squirrely?
Yeah, they're very squirrely, hard to pin down.
Yeah. To win, you don't like pick them up by their throat and press them against the wall and then just
I
win
try
on
to play
a
by the rules.
Okay. All right. Huh. Well, right table, right side, green hair lady.
She says, "I still can't believe what happened. Kyle and I were taking a walk holding hands when this horrid little girl came up to us. I think she was Kyle's ex-girlfriend. She screamed at him, slapped him in the face, and stormed off in a huff. I don't care if they're friends or not. She absolutely has no right to treat him that way." Nash, some bullshit to say, says, "See what I mean? Country women are just as rude as the men." The lady goes on, "I don't know who that girl was, but I have half a mind to slap her in the face."
Null asks if you can watch.
Null says, "Can I watch?" Is that a sex thing? Like I
No, I
want
think
to
that's
watch
just-
girls beat the shit out of each other.
I think he does want to watch like catfight, I believe is the old gendered term for that.
Yeah,
But I don't think that's because like he wants the clothes to come off and titties to fly out. I think he just wants to watch the violence.
no, I think he wants the titties to fly out.
All right, man, titties flying out.
Is that a scrotal?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't think so.
You
I
said-
think you're reading. I mean, you're not reading. You are assessing it accurately, but my asshole, like, it's not egregious
Okay,
in my mind.
I'm for it, or not for it, or I agree in agreement.
And is this the lady that like we found out is currently Kyle's girlfriend?
She thinks she is.
Okay, because there's another multiple line of dialogue throughout this entire game where that relationship kind of gets evolved a bit. How about the purple serving wench behind the vegetable table?
Excuse me, pardon me. I have a couple of dozen mouths to feed. These men are starving after a hard day robbing.
All speculates that Master Mel eats this much food for breakfast.
Yep, she says, "What's that? Someone has a bigger appetite than these guys? That's a frightening thought."
How about the chef lady up by the boiling pots?
Yeah, she tells us that today's dish is a brigand surprise. She's added some roasted fire ants for a dash of flavor. Are those fucking ants we were killed before?
Yeah, possibly. The big ones. That would make sense that, like, because about 4 to 5 men could eat one of those ants.
In this world, are monsters and animals the same thing?
That's a great question.
Because remember in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth where one of the fucking characters explained that the monsters and animals are different?
No, I've admitted that part from my memory.
The monsters are like there to attack and to kill.
Justification.
And that's it.
Well, then why are chocobos sometimes with the monsters?
Not in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They don't fight you.
Really?
Chocobos are animals in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I think.
Fantastic.
I think. Anyway, Null says roasted ants, blech, how disgusting. But if they were covered in chocolate, I might feel a little differently.
Chris, you ever eaten chocolate-covered bugs?
I've eaten a cricket inside of a sucker.
That sounds awful.
It wasn't great.
You have to lick the cricket? What the fuck?
You eat the sucker, then you crunch the cricket.
Like a Tootsie, like a blow pop.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a professor in like a biology class or something.
He brought in bugs.
Brought in bug snacks. The video game.
Bug snack, yeah. It's Strawberry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've eaten chocolate-covered bugs before. Actually, not too bad. That it's usually like a state fair type thing.
Yeah.
Right?
I used to work with a guy from the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Okay.
And he told me all about different bug dishes that they ate back there.
I think bugs get a bad rap from things like Snowpiercer, but it may be a solution to the world's hunger problem. I don't know.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Did you speak with the food?
No, I don't talk to food.
Okay. These are the pots in the upper right-hand corner above the fire. Null says, hey, can I have some of the brigand surprise? Luna says, no, we don't have any money to pay for that.
You're fucking loaded, dude.
It's not true, yeah. You can also speak with all the food that's laying on the table near the serving wench. She says, that's a lot of food, but it's not as much as Master Mel had. The end.
Inside one of the silo stairways, there's a Brett-like.
Yeah.
I suppose you kids noticed that the guards working here are thieves. But they're good people despite that. I hire them as bodyguards when I travel into the Marius Zone to sell my patented extra strength Piles salve.
Piles salve?
Piles salve.
What's Piles? I know what a salve is.
Yeah, did I write that down wrong? What the fuck?
No, I'm looking at it right now.
Fake net. What's Piles salve?
Initializing fake net.
It's a healing cream for hemorrhoids.
Luna believes this makes sense in a strange way. Is the Brett Sprite always going to be a grifter? Is that a Sprite type?
Well, the only one that hasn't been a grifter was the one that wanted to know about the Tootsie Pop thing.
Yeah, that guy. He was just confused. Perhaps he'll grift later. He continues, the best part is that the thieves work cheap because they so enjoy getting into fights.
Like Goku.
Uh-huh. Who'd you talk to next?
Inside of one of the other silos, in looks like the middle floor here, there's a blue-haired goggle guy. He says, greetings. I'm headed for the village of Iluk in the south region of the Marius Zone. It's a place where inventors from all over have gathered to realize their creations and exchange ideas. I'm going there to build the ultimate inflatable.
He just trails off.
He trails off.
We've talked to him again. He says, I hear one of... We're saying that? Iuk? Luck?
Iluk?
Iluk.
Illic.
Keelik. I hear one of Keelik's residents is working on a machine that can fly through the air. What a crackpot. So tell me, what do you think is the most important and a minimally interactive inflated companion? He's got a blow-up doll.
Yeah, is that... I'm quivering here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like that...
Has he always had a blow-up doll?
Has he always had a blow-up doll?
In the other versions of this game?
There's no way, right?
No, I don't think so. You can push it.
I think it's possible. Like, it's possible that he was making a sexual joke, but like, the blow-up doll, it feels rife with the stench of Victor.
Yeah, like I understand in the future we now have real dolls, which serve a far more practical purpose than a blow-up dolls. I feel like blow-up dolls are just pure novelty for like bachelor parties or your fucked up friend's birthday now, and no one will fuck a blow-up doll anymore.
Yeah, now you just you marry the AI robot.
Yeah. Ex Machina.
Yes, okay.
Check this out.
That's 19.
God. Will we have more hours played or scrodals?
Good question. That's it for that guy. There is also, at the top of this same silo, there is a brown-haired person with a backpack.
Yeah.
It says the Marriott Zone is home to a man named Damon. He's supposed to be the guardian of knowledge, but he locked himself in the highest floor of a huge tower teeming with ferocious monsters. You'd think a guy with so much knowledge would know better than to do something so stupid.
And we heard of Damon in the Sega CD version much earlier, I think in the Vane Library.
Mm-hmm. Luna says maybe he knows something about the dragons, Alex. Guy continues and says, I'm hoping Damon has the answer to the question I've held close for the past 6 months. Does this look infected to you?
Do you think it originally said that, Chris? Because Does This Look Infected was a pretty funny thing people were asking each other in the 90s up until, Sum 41 called an album that?
So you think that, that is just scrotal because...
I don't think it's a full-on... I think it's approaching...
It's such a reference.
It's such a reference... I mean, but it doesn't reference anything directly. It's just referencing, a proto-meme type thing.
Okay.
Does This Look Infected was something that the kids were saying about goddamn whatever.
My toe.
Yeah.
I think we can let it slide because it
a sliding scrotal.
Because it slides in there.
Yeah.
You might not notice it.
Mm-hmm.
It may not make you quiver.
Can't tell if it's in.
What next, Eric?
Guy with blue hair and yellow goggles, green shirt, red pants, up at the north end by Kyle.
Okay, go ahead.
I can't say I'm thrilled with how much it costs to pass the barrier, but the monster population has soared in the last few weeks, and I'll choose my life over money every time. The problem is that Kyle has a monopoly on the barrier protection industry. We need some competition. Do you know anyone who's not afraid of monsters and willing to work for minimum wage?
Yes, I know one.
I'm Geralt of Rivia, the Witcher.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, you got to pay for good service.
Yeah. Kyle's standing there, but I didn't speak with him because I thought it would progress the story, even though I was wrong. Did you speak with him?
Of course I did.
Okay.
His sprite looks like a guy who's shit-faced.
Yeah.
He says, Jethy, it wath nothing. You don't understand. It wasn't like that. Hick, Jethka, hick.
He's a drunk guy.
Oh, yes, drunk guy.
Okay.
Oh, he's drunk.
I'm very drunk indeed.
Oh, God.
I've got that as number 4. I feel like there's been more than 4.
We've run into the same one multiple times.
Okay.
And again, I'm glad this was not localized out of the game because I still feel like alcohol and drug references didn't make it in many games in the 90s.
Yeah, I feel like it was pretty common for that stuff to be kind of just rewritten in a more family-friendly manner, but this game is not going for that. This game is trying to make the teens laugh, and alcohol is cool.
It's very cool and funny and always a good idea. Brown hair, pink bow lady, Cervantes coat, green shoes over on the right side. I transport goods between Meribia and the rest of the towns on the continent. It's hard work, but always worth it when I reach the barrier and see Kyle. Kyle never charges a fee for women and children crossing the barrier. So Kyle has, what, army rules? Women and children first? Preferred as he's just like milfs. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, he likes moms.
Okay. He's into mommy stuff in addition to other wide range of interests?
Yeah, I think Kyle has a vast range of
tastes,
of interests and tastes when it comes to the ladies.
The exact same sprite as the last lady is in the lower right corner.
Okay, go ahead.
The new Dragon Master has appeared in land, but he's using his dragon to steal from the villagers. I thought the Dragon Master was supposed to be the protector of Althena, not a bloomin' fish snatcher. In PSP, do you know what they say instead of fish snatcher?
Fishmonger.
Fish thief.
My next guess was going to be fish filcher.
Isn't fishmonger a biblical metaphor for a sex worker?
I thought fishmonger was just somebody who sells fish.
Objectively, yes, but I think it was like spoken... Fake net, what am I thinking about?
I think you're wrong.
Initializing fake net.
There is a strong distinction between a fishmonger and a fisherman. The former sells fish and the latter catches fish to sell. Neither exchange sexual services for money.
I remember this because we had to memorize a Bible passage in one of my theology classes and act it out as a play, so I said the word fishmonger over and over and over with an implication of illicit goods.
Oh.
Null says he can't think of a more heinous crime. Luna says she can think of about 1 million more heinous crimes. A world without heroes is no place to be. It's no place for me, she signs off with. Old man, red hat, white beard, center, south end. Hey kids, you look like you need a good meal. How about buying some of this fresh fish? It's yummy. Null wonders how fresh it can be, because we're at the top of a mountain range. He says, well, the legal definition of fresh in Nanza is anything that isn't slimy. I used to have a steady supply of fish coming in from land. Not anymore. I've heard that a man calling himself the Dragon Master is wreaking havoc on the village. Null knows that a real Dragon Master would never do that. You ever read Kitchen Confidential?
No.
Anthony Bourdain's, I think, first book. He advises people to never order a fish dinner on a Sunday because the fish had just come in on Friday, and by then it would have been sitting for 2 days already. And obviously, he's lived in New York at the time. And I was reading that thinking about, like, I think all the fish I eat here is fucking frozen first. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I've ever had fresh fish except for when I'm in Florida and they just caught it from whatever local fish shop I'm at. So I was like, I just remember that rule not applying to me because all the fish I ate had been frozen for weeks, days, months, years. Whatever first.
I feel like, I'm probably wrong about this, but whenever a fish is priced on a restaurant's menu at market price, that has the chance of being the most fresh.
Yeah, I was going to say that has the chance, but that's also how they get you into implying that it's fresh.
Yes.
Especially if it's like a saltwater fish and we're in Kentucky. Like, come on, man. There's a Brett-like on the left side. It says, when I'm going to the Marius zone to sell my wares, the brigands of the barrier protect me, but they charge so much for their services, they might as well rob me at knife point. I don't know why Mel chose these hooligans to run the barrier. They're nothing but thieves with a license to steal. So that is confirmation that like Mel has some oversight over who he's written a contract to control the Nanza barrier.
Yeah, but there's a conflict here. There's no official
like he's letting it drift. Like they check in twice a year.
Yeah. It's sort of like a back and forth between like who's in control and who's controlling the money, who's controlling the territory, etc. Okay, little girl in the tower?
Yep.
Okay.
Pigtail girl.
Yeah, she says, look, over there, it's Meribia. I was there once when I was a kid. Null says, you still are a kid. She says, I'm not a kid, I'm a lady. Null says, can you see Berg from here? She says, Berg, I'm a lady.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't get that either, but this is definitely a child sprite. And later when you have Kyle speaking to her is some fucked up shit.
I love fucked up shit.
Okay.
I do. I really love it. We need more fucked up shit in our video games. More scrotals.
Yeah, scrotal me all over me. I next find Kyle when he's looking at the mountains inside the tower where he's sitting down with his legs crossed.
Oh, you found him?
Like you said, he's all over the place.
I didn't find him. I found somebody who told me where he was.
He travels whenever you talk to someone, but you can find him before you talk to that person.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah, he's all over the fucking...
Okay, go ahead then.
Nanza. Let's go to the North Tower and find Kyle, because I think the guy at the barrier said Kyle's in the North Tower.
Yes, I think you have to speak with Kyle when he's drunk on the roof, and then speak with that guy, and then that will kind of get the...
Move Kyle to jail.
Yes, move Kyle. Update the scenario.
He's moved from looking at the mountains inside the tower where he's sitting down with his legs crossed. He says, I just held her hand, Jessica. Why are you so angry? That's all he says. Oh no, I go to the West Tower and he was in the West Tower? I guess he's actually in the North Tower. What the fuck is... I didn't understand what's happening right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, did you talk to the little girl here after he left?
Yes.
Okay.
She tells us Kyle went to go get some food because he was hungry. She thinks he's eating in the cafeteria, eating ice cream. A guy up on the roof will also say that Kyle is heading toward the East Tower with a mug the size of his head. He also said he asked Kyle to lower his fees, telling him something like, if you don't lower your fees, we're going to run out of money and die. But Kyle didn't care. Cafeteria. Everybody in the cafeteria has something to say about Kyle's antics in the last 30 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Left table, top left. What happened to Kyle today? He was really angry and really drunk. I saw him stumble off to his bedroom after his 20th drink.
Wow.
Do you think he's all right? Kyle's bedroom is north of the mess hall. Why don't I check on him and make sure he can stand up straight? You know when people who are around a drunk all the time are surprised by how drunk the person is? It's like, wow, holy shit. Left table, bottom left. Kyle always falls asleep right after he eats, just like a little boy. But he doesn't have a problem finding girls to mother him. So into moms in more ways than one.
More Mike Pence references.
Mother. Left table, top right. You should have seen it. There was a man in here who had the most severe case of the munchies I've ever seen. He ate more food in 5 minutes than I've eaten in the past 5 days. But I think more of it ended up on his shirt than his mouth.
Drunk people like to eat, so I'm not going to say he's also smoking the
reefer. The Nanza weed.
What?
The fire ant.
What's the weed called in Lord of the Rings?
Ask me anything
where's
about
Kal-El? Kal-El's here.
Gandalf's beard.
The wheat. It's called something. The ragweed, not the ragweed.
Big Ned.
Initializing fake net.
The little people in the Shire used hallucinogenic drugs, mostly the herb called pipeweed. Even the dark wizard Saruman, who was curious about the Shire because Gandalf showed an interest, had taken to the halfling's leaf.
I was told he's the leader of the barrier guard. I guess you don't need manners when you're in charge. Nash, for some reason, tells him that Galleon's the strongest magician in the world and he never eats with his hands.
That's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Always uses utensils.
When you first said that he never eats with his hands, I was thinking of like a utensilist world where he just like making magic levitate into his mouth.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. If they've invented sporks here yet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Kyle is strong, but even he isn't immune to the ravages of heartburn. Right table on the right side tells us Kyle is lucky because his quarters are right next to the mess hall. A midnight snack is just a stroll away.
Yeah.
Right table, right side, the girl that Kyle was holding hands with.
Uh-oh.
I've never seen anyone drink like Kyle does. It's one of the things that has attracted me to him.
Really? Okay.
On PSP, she says something different. He's still fuming over that encounter with his ex-girlfriend. I saw him sashaying to his bedroom, but I don't know if he should go to sleep. After all those beers he drank, he might not wake up.
Now, in my mind, sashay means like a dance while strafing.
Yes, like hand movement while strafing is definitely what I think of with sashay.
Is that what it really means?
I think you're not. Like, sashay means like exaggerated walking to me, like theatrical walking.
Fake net, how close are we on this?
Initializing fake net.
You boys fucking nailed it. To sashay means to walk in an ostentatious yet casual manner, typically with exaggerated movements of the hips and shoulders.
All right.
Next, I went to Kyle's room.
Is he sleeping there now?
No.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
There's a blue-haired guy. Kyle is sleeping in here now. Chris is correct.
Yes.
Kyle's finally asleep, thank the goddess. When he gets drunk, he gets completely out of control, so we lock him in a jail cell until he dries out. I wish he'd stop arguing with Jessica and just admit how he feels about her. I get the feeling our boss slept in a few jail cells before he ever came to Nanza. In your head, is Kyle like 10 years older than Alex or like 3 months older than Alex? How long has he been doing this shit? Why is he a leader of men?
I don't know if do we ever get canonical ages for these people? I don't think we do.
The incident was 15 years ago and Alex wasn't born yet, right?
Yeah, so I do think that we pin that down, that Alex is 15-ish. But I think Kyle, in the way I'm reading him, is like, he's like 19 to 22.
Chris, Kyle's asleep. Did you talk to him while he sleeps?
Yeah, he's doing the ZZZZZ thing. Then he says, Scritch.
Scritch? Is that, do we have to bleep that?
Scritch. It's like
You fucking scritch.
there are 3 Ks in a row, so Kyle is racist. Null says he snores and grinds his teeth. Do you think he's related to your dad, Alex?
Damn.
Alex's,
Sick dad burn.
Alex's dad catches strays throughout this game. Kyle continues to sleep. That's it.
I mean, Alex has far more potential and charisma. It is a real Jesus and Joseph situation here.
That's true. That is very true. Jesus, Joseph. If you come back to Kyle's bedroom after Kyle has been removed from his bed, Null will smell Kyle's sheets. You can speak with Kyle's sheets. And Null says, "Wah! This bed smells like someone pickled it in a vat of whiskey."
Ew.
Which is a really interesting way of saying that. And I remember that I read this line the same day that my kids asked me if vat was a word, V-A-T.
VAT, where they encountered a vat? Was there a vat?
We were playing Scrabble.
Okay.
And they were like,
Needed a vat.
I'm like, that's a word. Yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
obviously I've not seen Batman in 1989.
No, but they should.
Get the in on that, bud.
Do you think I could show my kids that?
I watched it when I was 6.
They're not 6, they're 9.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
think
he shoots Bob right in the chest. I don't know.
yeah, but it's not like, it's fine. I mean,
Yeah, it's fine.
the most violent thing they've ever seen is Home Alone 2, which is pretty fucking violent.
Yeah, well, but that's like cartoon violence.
Yeah, I know, but like,
Batman's real.
What is Batman?
Honestly, I think that they would have a better time with Batman and Robin and Batman Forever, even if they don't know about the homoerotic subtext. But yeah, I don't know. Don't ask me fucking how do I raise my quiz. I'm going to give you the wrong answer every time.
All right, we're going to watch Batman tonight. Although I don't think we have time. We got to do stuff. Okay.
And then when you watch Batman Returns, you can be like, 1, this is a Christmas movie, and 2, there's Pee Wee Herman kids. There's the voice of Kevin Winnicott from Xenosaga Episode 1.
True. All right, now we're going to go to the jail to confront Kyle, right?
Yeah, there's a blue-haired guy walking by. You're running away now before the tiger in the jail is eating your bones. I am wetting myself. I am greatly hoping that the giant kitty does not escape and chew vigorously upon my colon.
He really says that?
Yeah.
Chew vigorously upon my colon.
That's what it says.
I'm trying to think of what I could say in response to chew vigorously upon my colon, and I've got nothing.
I'm sure that's a sex move for somebody.
You've got to be ripping up ass, though, in order to do that.
Get in there. Get deep in there. Get in there.
I feel like you're going to have the tiger claws.
Okay. Blue hair NPC, the guy who speaks in typos. Hoof, woo, my boss is most certainly wasted. He is becoming this way every time he's speaking with Jessica. I am wishing they would make up the most happily and start boxing their tonsils. Oh, yes. If Kyle and Jessica are making up, I am no longer being beaten up.
Okay, so we've got, what did you say, tossing tonsils?
Yeah, start boxing their tonsils.
Boxing their tonsils.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
Deep mouth kissing. Hell yeah.
No, that is a beautiful descriptor.
Good job, Victor.
I wonder where that came from.
Victor.
Thanks, Victor. Boxing tonsils and chewing colon.
Mm-hmm. Now it's a barrier. There are no laws here. You can do whatever you want to a human being with consent.
I'm enjoying that phrasing.
Yeah?
A lot.
Eating a colon?
I'm just enjoying the phrasing of...
Vigorously chewing upon.
Yes, I love it. But also I'm quivering right now. And I need to know if I need to press the scrotal button.
I don't think you can prove that was none of the original.
I don't think I have to prove it. I just have to feel it.
Vibe-based? Okay, I agree with your vibes.
But also, like I'm not proclaiming this as a scrotal because it is detrimental to the game or corrupts the game. This one, in this case, I think enhances my enjoyment of the game.
Well, then it can't be a scrotal, can it?
I don't know.
Scrotal is script corruption.
This is not corruption.
That's not corruption. This is additive. This is enhancement.
This is art. This is the duality of Victor.
Not all bad, folks.
No, he's not all bad. He's got some bangers in there.
Anything else before we approach Kyle in jail?
Let's approach Kyle in jail and let him give us what all guys in jail cells give us.
Anime cutscenes?
Anime.
We open on a man's legs. Damn it. A camera pans across his horizontal body until it reaches his face, which is drooling and snoring. He's breathing really fast, and he produces a large anime snot bubble.
Yes, you can see the reflection of Alex and friends on the snot bubble, which is just the most interesting thing that has been done in any of these anime intros yet, with maybe the exception of the Galleon Stare.
Reflective people mucus?
Reflective people mucus.
Reflective people mucus.
My guy has a sleeveless blue shirt and a red sash with a blade holstered inside of it. I also think there's another sword on his back. The anime snot bubble becomes so large that it explodes, jostling the man awake as its shockwave knocks off the hand that was supporting his head. He stands up, he yawns, he drools, and he speaks.
Oh, what a night. Kyle had himself another night of wine, women, and song. Just between you and me, I think I had a little too much of the wine. But the women didn't complain.
He smiles and points to himself, and then, face frozen on that smile, he falls backwards with a cartoon sound effect. He passes back out, fade to black. On PSP, Kyle's dialogue changes too.
What a night. Kyle had himself another night of wine, women, and song. Just between you and me, I think I had a little too much of the wine. But the women didn't complain!
Chris, tell me all about Kyle Regius?
This is his name?
Reguiss. Fake net. How do you say that?
Initializing fake net.
Reguis, Kyle Reguis.
Well, Eric, Kyle is, of course, the boastful brigand.
Nice.
Which is pretty good.
That's
I like
all right.
That one's all right.
It's fitting.
It's all right. The worst one is yet to come, Eric.
Okay. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
According to the guide, here's his profile. Let me know if it differs in the manual. He says, after winning the approval of Master Mel of Meribia, Kyle was put in charge of protecting the Nanza barrier. Despite his youth, he is a master swordsman and well respected by his loyal followers. He can't help but find himself attracted to Jessica, even though she can't stand his chauvinistic ways. He only has one flaw, his ego.
It's the same in the manual.
He has two flaws, his ego and his alcoholism.
Yeah, it might be a flaw for most people.
I mean,
Kyle is voiced by John Haas in Silver Star Story Complete and was not voiced in the original game. John had roles as Nardo and Faust in Silhouette Mirage.
Nardo?
Nardo, yeah. Everybody remembers Nardo from Silhouette Mirage. Don't you remember Nardo, Chris? Who's your favorite Silhouette Mirage character?
I think Nardo is. Nardo of the Blue Star.
Initializing fake net.
Here is some hot Nardo dialogue. He is saying, "You shall become the rust on my sword."
You shall become the rust of my sword.
As listed as his behind the voice actor page. Those aren't on IMDb, but Xenos, Langley, and Growlancer 2, and Kyle in Summon Night 6 sure are. John also played Mark Doyle in 49 episodes of the late 90s TV series called Wild Side.
Not familiar with Wild Side.
Me neither. I couldn't find anything on it. Usually with like old TVs, they're all on YouTube for some reason, old fucked up TV shows.
Yeah.
In Harmony on PSP, Kyle is voiced by Travis Willingham. You may remember Travis as Roy Mustang in which anime?
Pumpkin Scissors?
Full Metal Alchemist.
I was about to say Full Metal Alchemist because Roy Mustang is... Hold on a second.
Who the fuck else? Why would you not say it if you knew what it was?
Because Pumpkin Scissors was already coming out of my mouth. Hold on, I gotta see what Roy Mustang looks.
I mean, Roy Mustang is a Pumpkin Scissors ass name.
Yeah, Roy Mustang. He's the fucking clean-shaven young man with dark eyes.
Just like me.
I just read that off the fucking thing. Well, he's the badass guy. He's cool. He puts gloves on when he's serious.
Okay, well, he was also Knuckles the Echidna in Sonic games from 2010 to 2018, and someone named Guile in Street Fighters 4 and 5.
Okay.
Music, traffic resumes. Kyle snorts and belches. The NPC runs up in front of us and demands we be quiet with fucked up grammar.
You are being quiet, kids.
No, Kyle sleeps with most calmly, and you are riling him into a furious anger.
Null can't believe this shit. This sloppy drunk is in charge of Nanza, so what's he doing drooling all over the floor of his jail cell? I think the question was rhetorical, but Guy says when the boss is getting worked up, he is becoming most entirely berserk and uncontrollable.
Great.
Same. When he is having a most disturbing battle with his old girlfriend, we are knowing it was coming. So we are encouraging him to drink most excessively and throwing him into the brig. It is being for the best.
I love this guy's pattern of speaking. I don't know what the original intent was, but I think it's a really neat joke that, like, I don't know, this work, whatever he's doing is working for me.
There is some beauty in his broken English. Like the way he is, his conjugation is just, there's something wonderful about it. Also, it is kind of funny that, like, perhaps Kyle is not necessarily an alcoholic and doesn't require alcohol in order to sustain his mental capacity. It is more of a fact that
it's a coping mechanism.
His people are making him get drunk so they can get him to pass out and be under control.
Yeah, it's almost like administering trank darts, but just through alcohol.
What they really need is Luna to sing him to sleep.
Yeah.
To use her sleeping song on him.
Yeah, Jessica refuses to use magic. Mm-hmm. Chris, what makes you becoming most entirely a berserk and uncontrollable? When do you fucking lose it and have to go sleep it off in jail?
When they keep shooting threes and they keep missing.
I was going to guess a basketball or football reference.
Basketball.
When they keep shooting threes and keep missing.
Yeah.
That makes you becoming most entirely berserk.
The plan is to shoot threes. That's the plan all year, but they're not going in.
They have to go in for it to work. That's how basketball works.
And it's not working right now.
The guard rushes up and screams at him, Kyle, it is being nothing. Nothing at all. You are going back to sleep now. Kyle then yawns and goes back to sleep. But the guard continues to admonish us. That was being too close. I will make you a deal. If you are not disturbing Kyle again, I am ordering the guard to open the west gate most swiftly. I suggest you accept my offer before I am throwing you into the cell with Kyle and devouring the key. Devouring instead of eating is a choice.
It is. A lot of good choices in this guy's dialogue. He might be my favorite NPC.
He'll rank high on our rankings, if we remember.
Yeah, we got to put this guy in there, even though he doesn't have a portrait.
Null makes the connection. Jessica is Kyle's girlfriend? Wow, I wonder if they still have feelings for each other.
Now we're out of here. But we can have one more talk with the guy. He says, you are briskly walking away from here before Kyle awakens and gnaws off my foot. I do be briskly walking away from here and head out the west gate deeper into the Nanza Pass.
You didn't talk to all the NPCs again first?
Oh, fuck. Like, I'm thinking major things have to happen, not Kyle being in the cell.
No, anything happens. Anything happens.
Okay, I'm going to rest my head on my microphone.
About 200 pages of my notes from now, I just start writing down the funny ones. But we have to take a while to get there.
Yeah, okay.
Nanza, post-Kyle anime. Shit, Chris, there's NPCs with more new stuff to say. The basement tower, lower level. Kyle's girlfriend in the kitchen. Kyle always brags about being the best, and he is. His confidence is one of the hottest traits. I'm getting all flushed just thinking about him. I'm so embarrassed. Null tells us he feels sick. But she continues, face it, a man isn't a real man unless he has muscles. And Kyle, he is a man! Null tells Nash that he needs to start working out. Nash says nothing.
That's true.
I like how Null parlayed that into just a dig at Nash.
I appreciate all Nash,
insults.
Rizzing. Not rizzing.
Razzing.
Razzing.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Rizzing and razzing are polar opposites.
Yeah, the kids are risen too much these days.
Blue hair guy in Kyle's room. I heard you try to wake Kyle up. Were you guys dropped on your heads a lot when you were kids? Leave him alone and let the brewskis run their course.
Let the brewskis run their course. There are so many lines in this episode that I'm going to have to, they're going to have to fight over being the title here.
You just want to have a fucking, rather than a character tournament, a line tournament? A scrotal tournament? Is it too late to start writing those down?
I mean, no, it's not.
NPCs outside. Yellow clothes headband down by the main tower. I heard that you met Kyle. You're lucky he didn't beat you up. Null tells this guy we're lucky he didn't throw up all over us. He continues, Kyle is the biggest drunk I've ever seen. I bet he could puke up more beer than all of you. Null wonders if Kyle would be a huge hit at frat house parties. Kyle is a man. He even taught me his weight training routine, the guy says. Nash believes the only muscle he needs to work out is his brain. Null wonders if Nash is suffering from muscle envy.
Ooh. Okay, so a couple things happened here. One, we had somebody said frat house.
Yeah.
Now that's strictly an American thing.
Yeah.
And a Greek thing, I guess.
Yeah.
It's strictly a Western thing.
Yeah. I don't think they have frat houses in the...
I
don't know. Vane could have a frat house. You don't know. It's a multiverse, Chris. A multiverse. Which word do you hate the most?
Multiverse.
Multiverse, Chris.
Okay, so there could be...
multiple verses.
They could have Greek life in Vane. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying that's plausible.
I don't think it's plausible. I mean, they could have something similar to the concept of a fraternity, but it's not going to be called Alpha, Sigma, Beta, or whatever they're called, They're not going to be called...
You can't read the Lunar language.
It's true. It does kind of look like Greek.
See? Make the connections, man.
So I can't scroll.
I don't think so. Okay. I think that's a potential in-universe acceptability.
Okay, there were two things here. The other thing I already forgot, so carry on.
Nash, muscles, envy.
Oh, the muscle envy thing. It was like almost we're trying to make a penis envy joke here.
Yeah.
But penis is a muscle, I think.
That fake net is the penis a muscle?
Initializing fake net.
No, the penis is not a muscle. While it contains some muscle fibers, the primary tissue of the penis is spongy erectile tissue. And it's primarily the relaxation and contraction of the surrounding muscles that facilitate an erection, not the penis itself being a muscle.
Well, you can fill it with blood and it can do stuff. I don't really... You can't make it stronger though, can you? It doesn't have tensile fiber. I don't fucking know. I have no idea.
I can fill this cup with blood and it's not a muscle.
Nope.
But what if you fill it with the blood of Christ?
Beautiful logic there. Yeah, then you transmute it to fucking holy powers. Just like okay. Well, we got to talk to this eye patch guy on the border left the border door to leave. He says, I could have told you Kyle was going to get toasted the second his lady friend stormed out of here. You didn't actually try to wake him up, did you? Few things in the world are uglier than Kyle on a bender, except perhaps my mother on one.
Oh, his mother on a bender.
What? Null tells this guy we were about to wake Kyle up before someone stopped us, and he replies, a wise man he was, freak. You might as well wander into a cave and tickle a hibernating bear. Why don't you run along now before you get us all fired? The freak seemed a little bit uncalled for here. Like the guy just deployed a slur at fucking Null. It's also in the PSP version.
Is he the same one that called him Beastie?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Beastie was like a friendly term of endearment, but once he learns you try to wake up Kyle, he's like, whoa, you fucking freak. Don't do that.
Wow.
He opens the door, and the second part of Nanza Pass. But we're opening the door to what, Chris?
The RealNet.
Initializing RealNet.
Hey. Hi, RealNet. Thanks for sticking around today. Hellmel says the only concern with the new RGG game is announced is that 1915 is a year they have to either uncomfortably address or awkwardly ignore the fact that Japan was colonizing Korea in that period.
There's a strange tendency in those games to have like one of the main villains be Korean.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like June's twin or something in Yakuza 5 or 6. I forget the fucking shit there, but like there is a strange like if Yakuza, if Like a Dragon games have one like weirdness, culturally weird thing to them, I think it's the treatment of Koreans. But I could be wrong on that. I just remember reading like a big thing on that one.
Isn't that kind of similar how like culturally there were like Hollywood movies always made like Russian guys bad guys or Eastern European guys bad guys?
Well, Russians aren't the bad guys.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I think so. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down there. They were just like standing like, oh, of course they're always evil, so they can be villains and it's fine.
And then
I think you mean 24's Arab problem as well.
Yeah, I was going to say like later in the post 9/11 it became the Arab people.
I think in 24 it was alternating seasons of Arabs or Russians.
But I don't think you have to like in a game like whatever this game's called, Project Infinity or something like that, or whatever this game's called.
Yeah, sure. Same.
Whatever. Yakuza 1915.
Non-Virtua Fighter.
Yeah. I don't think you have to like just go out and say, "Hey, Japan's colonizing Korea," as long as like I think you just address it from the perspective of the characters of the story that you're telling. If they're fucking subject to propaganda, then they should be subject to the propaganda of the Japanese Empire. If that's how those characters behave, so I don't think it has to be awkward. Is what I'm trying to say. Anyway,
potential to, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be awkward. It can just be part of it. Cool, Pafu, Puff, Puff, Puff. There's Master WP posts a animated GIF of Master Roshi requesting a Puff Puff.
Everyone loves a Puff Puff.
It is subtitled in this GIF as Pafu Pafu.
Yes. Orgazams, always awesome.
Jesse says, I don't remember the origin, but the phrase honk out a piss has been floating around my friend group for years.
Honk out a piss.
I like it a lot.
Does that mean like force yourself to pee?
I think it's just like I'm going to go take a piss.
Honk out. Because like honk, like usually the piss just flows naturally. You know, I don't have to like work effort to get it out of there.
Jesse says that it's like taking a piss, but extremely quickly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. In the context now, it makes sense.
I didn't know this, but Nervous says it's stupid that the magic school in Magic School Lunar wasn't Vane, but a different floating school.
What?
Yeah, that's news to me.
And it's floating?
Multiple competing floating schools. They play football against each other.
I'm very curious about that. The Game Gear version and the Saturn port. Like, what? I've heard it's not very good, but like, I want to know what kind of game it is.
Yeah.
Let's mean you play Magic School Lunar and Chicago Syndicate on our Game Gear. No, we're not doing that.
What is Chicago Syndicate?
I think that's an Eternal Champion spinoff.
Broken Echo Juan says, I don't think if we do what they want, they'll leave was a good tactic with respect to Nazis.
No, not usually.
No, but I'm sure people did it.
Speaking of if they do what they'll want, we'll leave. My most like, I don't consider, well, no one considers themselves susceptible to conspiracies, but my most like conspiracy adjacent belief of the past week is they caught the CEO shooter guy through some illegal shit and they're trying to like backdial it into something that's plausible to arrest someone. Like there's some surveillance tech that isn't publicly disclosed yet and they can't explain, so they have to figure out how they normally arrested him. Like some deeply illegal surveillance state shit. But that's mostly based on vibes.
You mean like New York? I know he wasn't caught.
Yeah, he was arrested
in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But I think it's public knowledge that New York is like surveilled on every street corner.
I mean, the police budget, just essential, has to be somewhere.
Multiple folks point out that Butt is from Garu Mark of the Wolves.
Oh, of course, yeah. One of my most expensive Dreamcast games.
Yes.
Fucking Butt. Fucking Butt.
Jesse says the SNK Wiki informs me that they changed Butt's name to Marco Rodriguez.
I've also changed my Butt's name to Marco Rodriguez. That's a good shit. What do you want to call it? No, not Butt. How about Marco Rodriguez?
Mel says, I've had brownies made of cricket flour once. It was pretty all right.
That sounds okay. I mean, like
if I don't have to see the legs.
No, I mean Chris ate bugs with his $50 prawn lunch or whatever that was. Like prawn, aren't essentially like the scavengers of this like lobster and prawns and shit like that like fulfill the same role bugs do above the water.
They kind of do.
Yeah. So like the stigma around that always strikes me as strange.
Shrimp. Broken Echo Juan says, I prefer my bugs eaten by an intermediary like a bird.
Yeah, the bird must process the bugs and then you eat the bird.
Neat says Notepad++. Notepad++ is very good. Notepad++ is something that everyone should be using for their notepads.
When I took an HTML class in high school, we had to compose it in Notepad, but I just don't like the font, and you know what I mean? Like I much prefer WordPad.
You don't like monospace fonts?
I'm going to nod like I know what that is, yeah.
It means that every letter occupies the exact same amount of space. Yeah.
I can see the appeal, but no, I prefer letters to have different amounts of space. Oh, I meant to have a comment earlier that when they mentioned whiskey, I was glad. I was going to call it a scrotal if they called it bourbon due to my Kentucky pride, and bourbon can only be made in Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. It's like anything. Where's
Kobe beef?
There's a new, not new, but past 10 years or whatever, like, is it Brooklyn? Brooklyn bourbon is a thing now. And there's a big dispute over whether or not it should be called bourbon because it's from Brooklyn. It's made in Brooklyn.
Why would that be different than anything else?
What do you mean?
Like, what the fuck? I mean,
they make
why does Brooklyn get a pass when fucking Helena, Montana bourbon or whiskey does not? You know what I mean? Like, what's the fucking difference?
Because I think the technicality is not necessarily that it's made in Kentucky, but there's some other.
If that were true, then why the fuck? I don't know. I don't know nothing about bourbon. I don't care.
Yeah, I used to drink bourbon. It was cool until it wasn't. Until I just shit every morning so much. Not every morning, but you know.
I prefer the morning poop.
I prefer a 10 o'clock poo. I missed my 10 o'clock poo today.
But you work from home. Oh, yeah. 10 o'clock, you were podcast. You were also working from home at a different job.
Yes. Kal-El says, why is Chris wearing shoes inside? I'm judging Chris.
It is fucked up. It is fucked up.
Didn't Chris learn from anime not to wear shoes inside, says Broken Echo 1. I'm wearing shoes because I took the kids to school, and then when I got home, I immediately came downstairs and started getting podcast stuff ready. And I didn't take my shoes off. It didn't happen.
When I was I'm sure this is like an obvious thing to most people, but I knew in Japan you didn't wear shoes indoors. It was a big cultural faux pas, but it fucked me up that restaurants have shoe cubbies and you take your shoes off when you enter the restaurant as well.
Oh, cool. I mean, they're very big at my kids' Taekwondo place of like...
Feet.
You don't fucking walk on the mat with shoes on. Which no one does, which like would be weird to do anyway, but like...
It's like bowling.
Kal-El says, I love Final Fantasy V starring Baco and Marco Rodriguez.
Bart's butts. Sick butts reference. But Final Fantasy V was butts and not butt, right?
It was butts, yeah.
Yeah. I think butts is more like you can see a guy being called butts, but just straight singular butt is weird.
Yeah, there was a football player. Of
course there was.
He might be in the NFL. I don't know if he was pretty good in college. I don't know if he made it to the NFL, but I think maybe he did. I think he played for Michigan. His name was Jake Butt.
Hell yeah.
It's just the back of his jersey said Butt, and it was great.
Fucking Jake Butt.
Jake Butt.
Jake Butt.
Jake is one of the top 10 funniest names to call somebody with last name Butt. Alexander Butt.
Ted Butt.
Victor Butt. Actually, no, it works for a lot of stuff. Steve Butt.
Steve Butt.
Eric Butt. Michael Butt.
God Butt.
Billy Butt.
Billy Butt's pretty good. Alliteration.
Anyway, thank you real enough for joining us today. We'll see you on the next episode of Retrograde Amnesia. This episode is a production of Retrograde Amnesia recorded on December 13th, 2024? Yeah. Thank you, Mark, for the introductory music.
Chris, if I'm being honest, that doesn't sound like a real thankfulness.
And thank you, Steph, for the podcast artwork.
Thank you to Super Karo Gaming for the Silver Star Harmony footage and to Nintendo Complete for the Sega CD footage.
Email this podcast at retrogradeamnesia.com if you can also do this thing.
What the fuck was that?
The sentence started wrong and I was trying to rebound and it failed. Find us on Bluesky and or Twitter at Retrograde Amnesia. If you like this podcast, you can support it at patreon.com/retroam, where you can get early access 2 weeks early. Bonus episodes, miniseries, live streams, and more. Join the RealNet. All that stuff. Until next time, Eric.
Have a big butt.
And now you may go back to sleep.
Can I run some logic by you?
I love logic.
Before I came here, I had to go to the post office because I mailed off my PS4 limited run copy of Senki no Ronde 2. And when I was deciding, do I really want to own this sealed copy of Senki no Ronde 2 that I've had in my possession for, 5 years?
What is that game?
We'll get there.
Okay.
It's a one-on-one fight. Well, it's a fighting game, basically.
Game. Okay.
And I was like, well, none of my friends care about Senki no Ronde, so if they come over, no one's going to be impressed that I have this. 2, no one will ever play me in this game because they don't know what it is. And 3, if we're going to play Senki no Ronde, we're probably, if I can convince anyone to fucking do that, we're going to play Psychic Force 2012, which is essentially the first Senki no Ronde game. Or you could play War Tech on Xbox 360, which is also a rebranded Senki no Ronde game. Okay. However, no one is going to play me in this fucking video game ever for the rest of my life.
Mel says Senki no Ronde is neat.
Thank you. Of course, yes. I thank you for Mel for understanding what that is. Mel is someone I can count on to understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Even sure I pronounced the name wrong. However, so that's like my logic in deciding, because I'm selling a bunch of I've been selling games for the past 5 years to try to get rid of stuff. And I'm like, that was one of the last ones I was like, fuck, but it's cool to have this, but no one will ever know that I have this except for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I went to the post office this morning, because somebody finally bought my eBay auction for it.
Good.
Chris, you gonna go play Psychic Force 2012?
Yeah, sure.
Have you looked at those games ever? You ever play Psychic Force in your entire life?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Fucking shit, dude. Look at that game. Go look at it.
I'll look at it. What? Oh.
It's never good when Chris grabs his watch and says, what?
No,
is the president dead? What happened?
No, for some reason there's a notification on something, retrograde amnesia, something, maybe the Patreon, and somebody said, reading the metadata of your heart is a fire line. I think I said that in one of our episodes. I don't know what episode.
Either way, that's kind of a neat thing to happen to your watch, I guess.
I don't really want inconsequential notifications to come on my watch, but the nice thing about the Garmin is that when you get a notification about a fucking thing, you can very easily hit block that app from sending you any notifications ever again.
That's nice. Yeah.
So that way I only get things that I want to get, like, text messages, news.
My watch tells me the time.
No, just a suggestion. I asked when I was
send you a fruit basket.
When I was going back and forth with Patreon about the fucking Acast feed that was all fucked up. At the end of the conversation, I was like, "Hey, what about episode and season tags for the Patreon feed? Are you ever going to do that?" Because that's why I used Acast before, and they said, "We hear this a lot. It'll come out one day," and it did, and I'm happy. Thank you, Patreon.com.
Wow, it actually worked. Usually, that's something you say to end a conversation with a customer.
I'm sure that like a lot of people have requested that.
Gearbolt,
what?
We were going to open a show talking about promoting the Gearbolt stream.
We are?
I cut it last time so we could. I didn't know if you had anything in mind. We can save it for a different time. Top left, Bunny Laby.
Bunny Laby. I don't think I need to see what... I don't think I see it to know what it is. Why does Shift S not work on Notepad?
I prefer WordPad for my Windows-based easy text applications.
Well, it's easier to connect it with OBS.
Okay, yeah. No,
I have to pee really bad.
Okay.
If you're watching the recording, you probably see me squirming, and that's why.
Nope, I don't watch the recording. 11:25. I brought some fruit snacks. I'm not going to eat them. I'm going to hold out for lunch. Mott's fruit snacks are pretty good, man. You can learn it in English and Spanish. Pretty Flowers is Las Flores Bonitas if you want to learn Spanish on your fucking fruit snack package. It's berry flavored. These are the kind, though, that will, like, just get in your teeth. Like, these will fuck your teeth up real bad. Don't do these. Don't do a packet of Mott's fruit snacks and go to the dentist without flossing or brushing 7 to 10 times. Fucking Mott's knows where it's at, man. To avoid choking, give fruit-flavored snacks to only children who can easily swallow chewy foods. Children should be seated and supervised while eating. I wonder if that's true. Well, that's all I got for that. Let's check my phone and see if I have any email. This is very exciting. Here we go. I have 10 new emails. Shipping labels ready. Already fucking knew that. Park run. Tips for winter park runs. Already a master of that. Devolver Deluxe bragging that Neva won some video game awards. I need to play Neva. If Chris is gone for fewer than 2 minutes, I'm betting the piss wasn't that important. If he didn't do the longest pee, then it's upsetting. Oh, hey, what's up, dude? Hey. I don't know what you're talking about. Fucking wearing shoes indoors like an asshole.
How am I doing that?
Have you left your house today? Why do you have shoes on?
Yeah, I took the kids to school.
Oh, okay. Never mind. That's fine then. If you're putting on like full ass shoes for in-house, it's fucking weird.
No, I've got some slides for the purposes of like having on things on my feet.
Yeah.
If I need to have cushion.
Well, Chris, let's go to jail.
Oh, did you speak? We didn't speak with Kyle on his bed.
Kyle,
No, Kal-El. Kal-El, tell us.
He's not fucking here.
Yeah, he is. He just said, let's mong some fish a second ago at 11:18. That was 5 minutes ago.
Is Kal-El in the room with us now, Chris?
Yes. The real Ned is always with us. What? What? Never mind. Yeah, Puff. Yeah, go ahead. Puff.
So I love how in Like a Dragon 8, like Ichiban has this thing with Psycho that is like sacred to him, but he can't stop getting jerked off by random people around Hawaii, or just the lady who fixes your weapons, the lady who helps you take quizzes at school. It's like, what are you doing, Ichiban?
Yeah. Do you think that's explicitly a Dragon Quest reference?
Oh, it has to be.
Okay.
The Puff, certainly. I'm not sure about the other romantic side quests.
Did you see the trailer for that new RGG game, not Virtua Fighter 5?
Yeah, dude.
The 1915 game? That looks fucking sick.
Yeah, it looks fucking awesome, man.
I was like, when I was watching it, I was like, this looks like an RGG game, but not. But then it is.
It's going to be. Binary Domain 3.
Well,
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, that's... Also, I fought the Death Mutt.
Hold on. The Antarians? They look shitty on PSP. Okay, that's it. Continue.
Oh, thanks. But the game actually, the sprites jazzed to Moonbase 2.
Shit, what are we going to do?
Now.
Nash tells this asshole we come on behalf of the Met. I shouldn't call him an asshole.
I think you're right about that.
It wasn't like it was localized to butt on, I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know. Hello, children?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there, did you see there was a local house that I saw on the Louisville Reddit for sale that had like a fucking prison in the basement, like with actual functioning jail cell doors?
That can't be good.
No, but it's the same concept. Like, what are you all doing? Is this for like a role play sex thing, or like
D&D?
Do you have prison or D&D? Yeah, or like children that you don't want to deal with? I don't know.
Wow, that's
what's
crazy.
The current meta on locking kids in their room? Can you still do that? Not you specifically, but like society. Because that should happen to me a lot.
I feel like we did that a couple times when one of the kids was younger and was like refusing to go to sleep. So we would lock the door and then
he yelled, "Now you may go back to sleep."
And then he would get frustrated and then just go lay down and be frustrated, then fall asleep. Then we'd unlock the door so he could get out if he needed to.
Works every time.
Yeah, it did not work every time. In retrospect, it was a bad idea. If he got too like insane about being locked in his room, we'd let him out and try to get him to calm down and stuff. But like it was the whole thing. He was like 3 or something.
You know, it's funny. That's the exact same reason my parents locked me in my room, and my dad would take the light bulb out of my light so that I would just go to fuck to sleep.
Wow. Yeah. There's like a brief period of time, and I don't. This happens to most children, I think, to where when like suddenly they just don't want to sleep, or they don't have the faculties to understand that they need to go to sleep.
You need rest.
Yes.
Yellow ninja guy also in the bedroom. Actually, wait, the blue hair, either one.
You want to speak with people up top now?
Of course. I'm scrolling up to the upper area. I've got Brett inside the silo stairway. God knows which one that is.
Inside? The Brett guy inside. Where? I don't even see the fuck I'm talking to here. A Brett. I see a goggles guy. Oh, I got him. You want to cover the other silos?
Sure.
Okay, let's get all these rest of silos before we move on here. Oh, that is all. Well, that's all I have for now. Might be some more later. So never mind. Let's just carry on. Is this the guy that looks like a gnome? Yeah, go ahead.
David the gnome.
Are you done with the outdoor people?
I have one more.
Okay, go ahead. I'm lost. His quarters are right next to mess hall. We already got that one. Got that. Okay, so if
you got him, let me do him.
No, I don't have this guy.
And he speaks.
Oh, what a night! Kyle had himself another night of wine, women, and song. Just between you.
Actually, I think it's his flaw.
Calmly, and you are riding into him a furious anger.
Riling him
into a furious anger.
No, can't believe.
Do you want to do this, or are we done? I guess we better do this. There's not.
Let's do this because that would be good. And then we'll start
all of Nanza.
We'll start in Non in the next time.
This morning.
I mean, today is a morning. I mean, morning is during today. It can be, at least.
Stop
and stop doing this.
Okay, back into the sewer I go until I can once again light your darkest hour.
I love fucked up shit.
Playtime!